So, good evening. We're back again. Big up to everybody in the chat already. Appreciated. Make sure you're smashing the likes up and circulating the stream around as well. And the usual Friday settings. Jez, how you been, mate?
Yeah, good, man. Busy week. Notice I'm smiling. On the last podcast, somebody said I'm a miserable bastard and I must be a nightmare to live with. Well, actually, if you ask me why, I should probably agree with that. Fair. But I'm smiling, people. So
there you go. You can't listen. Everyone looks better when they're smiling, Jez. Yeah, Kenny's smiling. Go on, Kenny. How you been, mate?
You know what? It's been a week and a half, man. It's so much has happened in football, and that was a good week winning at Leicester, and then we had all like the managerial shenanigans. I mean, we all call Tottenham a small club, but they do seem to attract top managers. I think the proof in the pudding is that when you can't put the genie back in the bottle. If you go for a big manager because you're a big club, that means that's your template. You always got to go for big managers. And then there's some people like Gary Neville and certain people in the Arsenal fan base went, what's the point of getting a big manager? After all, there's no guarantee. So let's go and get little novices like we got now. But we call ourselves a big club. We call teams like Spurs small clubs. Yet big club like Arsenal can't attract big name managers. Not the Arsenal way, is it? Stop calling yourself a big club then, you know what I mean? Also, one thing as well is that anyone who is pro Arteta, I will never speak to them again and I'll block them forever.
Kenny woke up and chose violence today. I'm glad you brought up Conte. I've just changed the title of the video. I'm changing the thumbnail as we speak because you know what? I didn't even think about that. Let me come to you, Jez, right? They have signed Conte. He got a win last night. I watched maybe 60 minutes of it, although I did miss the 2 red cards for Vitesse. And they obviously got through. They had double the amount of shots against them than they had 4. But they won the game and he won his first game for Tottenham. What do you make of that appointment, first and foremost? And where do you think they can finish with him? Because I've seen a lot of people saying their team's shit and this and that. And yes, it is. But he's not. So where do you see them now that they've got a proper manager?
Well, they've got a world-class manager, man. I'd love to have him at Arsenal. He'll sort things out. He does it wherever he goes. He wins titles. He wins trophies. I'm bloody jealous, actually. He'll do well. He'll move them up. And if they invest in the January window and next summer, then they're going to be a proper team. You know, let's not mess about with that. If he gets the backing, which I'm sure he will, they're going to be a proper team, man. And heads up to him. Fair play. You did the job. You got rid of the manager that wasn't working for you. You've gone in for a top class manager. He's proven it time and time again. Wherever he goes, he does the business. So it's something for us as Arsenal fans to be concerned about.
Do you think, like, because the one thing I'll say about Tottenham, like, and I know we all sit and take the mick out of them, right? And we all know that when we see the fixture list, when are we playing them at home? Because that's 3 points every season, right? But do you think, like, because the one thing I'll give them credit for is they realised they cocked up by getting Nuno in, but they've given themselves maximum time to fix it because they've now got 28 league games left. And it's like, do you see them finishing above us this season with him? Or do you think that it's going to take next season for that to happen and they'll just try and steady the ship for the next 28 games?
Well, let's make a comparison, shall we? They've got Conte, world class, proven, wins wherever he goes, and we've got Arteta. I think that sums it up, really. They'll finish above us. That's another 20 quid I'll have to give to my mate who's a Spurs. We have a bet every year. We've had a bet for years and years. And he got fed up because every year he's giving me 20 quid, 20 quid, 20 quid, 20 quid. The last 4 years, I've had to give him 20 quid. So, Phil, you'll be getting another 20 quid, man.
There you go. Kenny, what about you?
For me, it just shows me their ambition. The fact that they that they went for Mourinho after they lost to Poch, and Arsenal fans need to be reminded that they were thoroughly unlucky under the Poch not to be a force in this league. Let's just talk about where they finished under the Poch. Under the Poch, the first full season they finished fifth. Obviously, we finished third. Second season, only they know how they finished second and allowed us to finish second. And then you've got the second place finish. Then they finished third. Then they finished third again. They got to the Champions League final. And if you look at the big games they've lost, they lost a League Cup final against Chelsea who went and won the title. They lost a semi-final in the FA Cup 2 years later to the title winners Chelsea. The year later in the FA Cup semi-final, they lost to Man United to finish second. And they lost the Champions League final to Liverpool, who finished second. So they only got beaten by good teams. But Arsenal fans don't want to hear that. They just want to hear
the final last season as well. The League Cup final last season as well.
League Cup at Man City. Now, I could sit here and I could be like some of the pork chops that you get in the fan camps, or some people who go on Twitter, or I could just be honest. And I like being honest. Under the Poch, they were light years ahead of us. Light years ahead of us. And even when they were in decline, they were still light years ahead of us. Hence the fact that they finished above us in the 2 seasons and a bit under Mourinho. So it wouldn't surprise me if they finished above us again, because the simple reason is that, unlike Arsenal, Spurs think big. They're not interested in finishing above us. We're an irrelevance to them. All they're interested in, Tottenham, is winning the league and challenge for league and winning the Champions League. Not at our expense, because that's where they want to move forward. Unfortunately, at Arsenal Football Club, we have this project that no one understands. And the only times we understand this project is when we win a game. But then you have a few pork chops or wazzits, whatever you want to call them, will start thinking that instead of celebrating our win, they'll go and say, oh yeah, the Arteta outers are unhappy. How can we be unhappy about Arsenal winning the clubs? Don't you think the reason why we are Arteta out is because the club's not moving in the right direction? The manager's not picking the right players. He's not, producing a team that is playing attractive football and winning football. And that's why we're Arteta out, because we want Arsenal to do well. But they don't seem to understand that. They think that we have to just sit around, let this project go along, and that we should just be grateful for supporting Arsenal, one, because we saw the Invincibles, and then we got to be grateful we are a success. I'll tell you one thing, right? I hate the word Invincibles. It makes me absolutely sick. I'm sick of the Invincibles, because if anyone told me that the Invincibles was the last time we're going to win a title and the last time we were going to do anything significant, and our pork chopper fans were going to go around and use that as an argument and embarrass us by going that whenever there's a discussion between Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea and Man City, let's take Tottenham and Man United out. Let's take Tottenham out. But Man United, they go on, at least ours is gold. Hang on here. We haven't been in the Champions League for about 5 years. We haven't won the title for 17 years. We haven't even challenged for the ruddy thing for a good few years. And yet, your argument is the bloody Invincibles. Jesus, for the love of God, if we were a proper top team, the Invincibles would be just another title going next. Because that's what top teams do. They win the title and they retain it. And if they don't retain it, they just carry on. It's a conveyor belt. How the hell have we got in a situation where this is our last time, 17 years, that we won a title? And guess what? We did it in 1971. When we started going about a double. I was brought up on a double. And the reason why they had to tell me is because we won Sweet FA after that.
Yeah.
And now we're doing the same thing. When are we going to learn at Arsenal?
Well, at the end of the season, I think it'll be the longest run without a title, won't it? 18 years.
18 years.
Longest.
Next season. If we don't win it next season, it will count in 19 years. So because we went 18 years without winning a title. So what I'm trying to say is that I am alarmed. I am worried. And, we haven't even spoke about Newcastle yet. Because right now, we've been told that who are you going to get if you get rid of Arteta? We've been told that these managers are not available. Well, our rivals, the team who are allegedly inferior to us, have just gone and made someone available. It doesn't matter whether he turned them down the first time. He became available. So what are we doing? What is going on at Arsenal? Are we a big club or not? Because I need clarification. I wouldn't care. I'll still support Arsenal, but I just want to know what the process is. Because right now, if Conte gets it right, we'll be left behind again, which means Arteta better carry on with this good form. He better.
It's all well and good carrying on with a good form. Yeah, and I've said this so many times this week that people are probably bored of hearing it. But for those who ain't heard it, when we signed Skodran Mustafi, he went 26 games unbeaten. When Bernd Leno came into the team, he went about 20 unbeaten. Yeah, or touching 20 because we dropped Czech. And then Leno went in and Emery went on the unbeaten run. So obviously went on that after the first 2 games. So yeah, it was probably touching 20 for Leno. I've seen us sign players like Kolasinac who look great when they first start. But what do these unbeaten runs actually mean? They mean nothing if you don't win anything. It's just, it looks good. And it gets, like, obviously, yes, football is a highly emotional sport as a fan watching it. But the ultimate goal is to win, and win trophies. Martin Keown today, a friend of mine texted me earlier, and somebody's just put it in the chat. It's why I said Keown's on the payroll. He can't be trusted. That's not what I was going to say, but I agree. Keown was on TalkSport this morning, and I don't listen to it, right? And a caller phoned up and said to Jim White, can you ask Martin Keown who the better manager is and whether he'd have Conte over Arteta? And he said, well, Arteta's turning it around, so I'll stick with him. But when you've got people like Martin Keown in the mainstream media, and I've always had an issue with, why is it an Arsenal player in the studio, an ex-Arsenal player in the studio? Why is it an ex-Man United player when Man United are playing? Why don't you get somebody that don't play for that or hasn't played for that club to go and commentate or go and sit in the studio? Because you're never going to get an honest opinion. You're going to get an opinion that's going to try and leave a door open to get a job. And I think he is actually a scout, isn't he? I think he's one of our scouts, I think. I don't know. But I'm sure I heard that the other week. I might be wrong, but I'm sure he's a scout at Arsenal. How in any way, shape or form is Arteta a better manager than Antonio Conte? Like, this is what we're dealing with. Like, yeah, Arteta's on a good run of form. Well done. It's only took you 2 years, mate. Yeah, in that run of 9 unbeaten. Sorry, mate.
And he's won an FA Cup, where Conte has won numerous leagues, cups. So Martin Keown, man, I used to have ultimate respect for you because I rated you, but you are I'm sorry, mate, you're turning to be a complete prick.
He is, mate. So when he came out a couple of months back, I think it was, what month are we in now? We're in November. It must have been about August, July, August time. And somebody phoned him up on TalkSport again and said to him, I idolised you. I've got your shirt when you were jumping all over the back of Van Nistelrooy. He said, I've actually got your match day shirt. You gave me the shirt. He goes, it sits pride of place in my house, right? He goes, but you can't seriously sit there, right, and look at this team and think Mikel Arteta is the man to sort us out into title winners. He goes, look at what we were doing then and look at what we're doing now, right? And he said, this isn't why we smashed the stadium down. And then he started talking about Wenger. He said, Wenger's the problem. Wenger was as a reason why we're in a mess. And Keown's head was down. As soon as he mentioned Wenger, he's up and he's looking. He's like, you've dissed him. It's almost like you've dissed a family member, right? And I sat there and I just listened to what he said. And the guy was spitting fact after fact at him. And he said, I'm never going to publicly criticise the football club. Well, at that point, I don't ever want to hear you again, because it's not about criticising like I do, because I go deep, right? I know he's not going to do that. But if Arsenal are a mess, then he's there to say they're a mess. But he's not giving his opinions. He works in and around that football club. He knows what's going on and what ain't going on. And this is why I get the ump with ex-players, right? Because we've got a lot in our fans, in our club, and Man United have got a lot in their club. They're all sitting there on these channels twerking for the football club because they either want a job at the club or their mate's got a job at the club. Yeah, and it's like, come on, just get some fresh people to actually have a different outlook at it rather than just this crap that we get filtered every week. That when, like, his press conference today was a fucking joke. I mean, some of the questions that were asked were embarrassing. Yeah, embarrassing. Like they said something like Koeman being sacked. What does that mean for the Premier League?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's that got to do with a Watford game? It's a Watford press conference. Every week I do these, Jez. You know, you're in the chat every time, yeah? And I sit there and every week the questions are nothing to do with the game coming up. I think they asked him one question about Ranieri and they said he's 70. Do you see yourself managing when you're 70? I mean, what kind of bullshit's that? But this is what we're dealing with. And that plays up to a massive, massive crowd of people. Because when you've got these journalists putting that out and Mikel Arteta saying and looking nice in his interviews and that, then you've got all the ex-players. That is a massive, massive scope of people that are going to have their ears pricked up and listen to them people because of who they are, like journalists with their blue ticks and ex-players and stuff that have played for the club. But I just sit there and I'm baffled, mate. How in any way can anyone think that we're a massive football club right now? We're big in terms of global following, but we're not big thinking. We're tiny thinking, man. Like,
sorry to interrupt you, is that these guys that spout this rubbish, there's hundreds of thousands, if not probably millions, of very influential young boys and girls that are listening to this drivel day in, day out. They listen to these, what they think are, you know, icons, and that's what they believe because that's what's being spouted at them. Oh, Michael Keown says that. It's got to be right because he's an invincible, and you know he's on TalkSport, and so he knows exactly what's going on at Arsenal. So yeah, we got to back Arteta. It might take us 20 years, but you know, by the time I'm 35, we'll win a trophy and we'll win a league. So yeah, let's go with it. You know, this is half the problem with these ex-Arsenal pundits that are getting paid by whoever, Arsenal, TalkSport, Sky Sports, whoever it is, and people are influenced by it because they aren't of an age where they can actually make their own judgment. Yeah, we were all young once. You know, we were all young, and we used to go with the flow, with ebb and flow, this way and that way. You know, I can speak for my own self. When, as a very young kid, you know, when we had Bertie Mee, won us the double, you know, he was the best thing since sliced bread. As Arsenal declined, it was like, oh, this guy's rubbish, you know, and that's how it happens. And it's not just now; it's been in football for bloody years. But because of social media now, it gets out there to millions upon millions of people. Whereas back in the early days, 70s, 80s, early 90s, you didn't have social media, so it was all very much more close-knit community.
Just national press, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know, you didn't really have this bullshit of press conferences that we have now, where you get all these hanger-oners that ask inane, stupid questions that have no relevance. I mean, what was that guy asking about Barcelona for? What the hell has that got to do with Sunday?
Yeah.
Not playing Barcelona, we're playing bloody Watford. You know, I don't give a shit about Barcelona unless we're playing them in a cup competition. I couldn't give a toss. Sorry, you know, you could ask a question about Bayern Munich. I don't care. We're not playing them. And when we do play them, we get spanked 5-1. So we know what's going to happen.
And this is the competition that our fans want us to get back into.
Laughing because we lost against Bayern Munich all those years ago. Oh, my bad, isn't it?
Mate, three times in a row we lost 5-1 to them.
Yep.
And the last time we played a Champions League game was 5-1 against Bayern Munich. And people are desperate for us. Somebody in my chat, and he watches a lot of my streams, so I'm not going to cuss him off, but he was in my chat earlier, right? And he said it is we have to. It's imperative, basically, to get top 4 this season. I said, why? What, to get into a competition that we're just going to get hammered in to then try and do it all over again the following season? Unless you're actually going to go and try and win the competition, what is the point? He came back with you can sign better players, which again I disagree with. You know, Man United signed Ibrahimovic and Pogba without Champions League. We signed Aubameyang and Lacazette without Champions League. You know, Aubameyang at the time was one of the best strikers on the planet. You know, Lacazette was hot property back then. You know, so I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think like
depends on the manager, though, isn't it, Lee? Depends on the coach, though. We had a coaching myth called Arsene Wenger, and I can say it at great authority because let's face it, in the league he was fantastic, and domestically he was absolutely brilliant. But in the Champions League, he was a disappointment. We only got a one semi-final, one final under this guy. Even with the great sides we had in Europe, we weren't a force. You can add double winning side in '98. Didn't even get out the group stages the season afterwards when we played those games at Wembley. And the season after that, we didn't get out the group stages with remnants of that great side. And then in the Emirates, we there was the odd second round quarter final, but top coaches, and this is factual, were outwitting Arsene Wenger on the big stage in Europe. I mean, bloody Claudio Ranieri did it in 2004. Yeah. When we lost against Chelsea, Wayne bloody Bridge. So I think that if we had a better manager, I still want us to get the top four because I generally want a better coach who's going to go there and not shadow box at the competition like we've done under Arsene Wenger, but to have a go. I mean, Poch had a go at the competition. Harry, the dealer that everyone thinks can't coach, got them into the quarterfinals where they lost to Real Madrid. You know what I mean? In 2011. And Real Madrid, lost the semi-final to Barcelona, but he got to the quarterfinals where they beat Milan. So even Harry Redknapp in his single season, pound for pound, did better than Wenger. If you take away the semi-final and the in 2009, the final in 2006, he's done better than in his only shot. So I don't mind us still being in the Champions League if we go there to win it and compete. I don't want to be part of the numbers. I love the music, hearing the music, but I'm not interested in that. I don't want to. I want us to try and win the damn competition, but that's such a long shot because we haven't been it for 5 years, and we become a European irrelevance, and that started with Arsene Wenger, and it's happened. Unai Emery, who turned down Newcastle, gave us a hammering in the semi-finals of the Europa League and beat Man United. As well. So again, one of the things is that I don't mind us getting the Champions League. I demand it, but I want it two things: one, to go there and win it; and two, as a prelude, as a building block, just challenging for the league. That's what I want. I don't want to be known as a top four side. I want the top four, then challenge for the league. I want to be feared again.
I totally agree with you, Kenny, right? I totally agree. This whole top four crap is exactly that, crap. But this is the thing now. It's like it's been built up. I'll give the easiest way to explain this, right? Look at the Super League. The Super League comes out, these teams want to join the Super League. Sky Sports are doing everything they can to get that cancelled and get fans angry and onside, yeah? Sky Sports have played a massive part in this whole top four thing because it builds up the drama for their shows every week. Yeah. So when everything's been changed from you had to win the league to get into the European Cup to now it's top four, Sky were the front runners in pushing that everywhere. And then BT have then come on board as well. And it's like then TalkSport and all these other big outlets, ESPN and all across the globe in different countries, beIN Sport, another one. And it's like that is now, everyone now knows top four. Top four, that's it. So it's why don't everyone know let's go and win the league? Because it ain't a seller, is it? Because only one team can win the league, but now you can dress up a top four race with another 5, 6, 7 teams.
Yeah, but some fans have excuses done. What they'll do is they'll say, well, but we can't win it, and you're and they actually laugh at you. We actually get laughed at because we want to be ambitious. We get laughed at or called names because we want to take the club back and we want to set club higher standards. Some people generally believe that this is their club, that we just come and go. I mean, I remember one time having an argument with a few pork chops some prats who I used to do podcasts with on another channel. He's one of the biggest trolls, but I soon sorted him out anyway. And he said, "Oh, what is his words? You guys in Britain think that that you have too much of an emotional attachment to your clubs." I think, yeah, because without us fans having an emotional attachment to our clubs, you wouldn't have an atmosphere to watch your live games, in your part of the world, and that goes other countries. Because guess what? One of the reasons why, there was a rebate for the foreign companies is because one, Sky showed it and BT Sport will show every game live, and two, because you couldn't get your atmosphere going. And the games became boring and practice matches. So,
and you sorry to cut you, Kenny. Yeah, you've just made a great point, right? Because all I've heard this season is, oh yeah, but the atmosphere at the games this season, everyone's behind the team, they're behind Arteta. No, maybe it's the fact they ain't been able to go fucking games for 2 years. Yeah, maybe it's just that. Yeah. Because now it's, oh, well, this could end again real soon and we might be in another lockdown or whatever. We don't know, do we? We don't know what's around the corner. So it's, let's cherish this while we're at the ground and let's get behind our team and do what we're supposed to be doing anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think, listen, we're playing half decent at the minute. We'll come on to some of the games in a minute. But I just think, like, the standards of this football club, and I said this the other day, as soon as you get wind that Antonio Conte is on a flight to Tottenham, right? You sack Arteta immediately after you've confirmed Conte is now diverting that flight to Arsenal. Yeah? Do you know what I'm saying? Because that is now what the standard should be. Oh my God, Antonio Conte, we can't have him going down there. Everyone keeps telling me they're our rivals. We've just let a world-class manager go to our rivals and we're pouncing around with a PE teacher. Like, that's not Arsenal. Arsenal was, oh, yeah, you, Manu Petit, yeah, we'll get Tottenham to pay for your cab to come and sign for us. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, where are these fucking days then? What, are we just old bastards that are moaning about it? Or is this where we're at as a football club now?
Well, Jez made a great point when he talks about ex-players like Keown, Wright to a certain extent, who basically influence, who and maybe Lee Dixon as well, who influence fans. And the problem is a lot of these people who influence are people with massive accounts and massive podcasts, that win the FCAs, and one account, YouTube account, which is massive and basically probably is the front runner for all the YouTube channels, is heavily influenced by ex-players, and that's factual. Hence the fact that they set the narrative. So if you look at the YouTube channel you're talking about, it's come to my attention that the people that control the content, i.e. on Twitter and Instagram, are youngsters. So they from what you've deduced, they will boost their mates' accounts. So for instance, certain people who have massive Twitter accounts, who are basically youngsters, are in link with the person who runs the social media.
Oh, 100%, mate. So, mate, that's been going on for time, mate. If you look at every single tweet that goes on there, it's a big account.
Yeah, but these people are setting a narrative for a lot of people, especially young people for abroad, because there's still a lot of people who don't know Arsenal, who follow that account, generally think that those people with a big account and that particular YouTube channel speaks for all Arsenal fans. And there is Jez's point. So what will happen is that people like us have to be able to bang the drum and be independent of all of that. But it's not just that YouTube channel; it's the other podcasts as well. The buzzword is level-headed fans. What's level-headed mean? Jez, what's level-headed? What is level-headed? Tell me what level-headed means.
You have to sit there smiling all the time, saying how wonderful Mikel Arteta's hair looks.
Tell me what,
I love Arteta.
I think they're the same people who talk about pivots.
Yeah, and tactical breakdowns.
This is a pivot. My computer equipment is on a pivot. Like this. Is that a pivot? Like this stand that I have.
Yeah, me and Jez are in the pivot, mate, and you're at number 10 in front of us, Kenny. Like me and Jez are sitting there in the pivot, mate.
I mean, in your press conference stream. I watched it when I got home. I had a shower and I watched it. And you made a great point, Lee. Something that you said between the three of us, we've probably got 100 years of experience. I'd say it's probably more than that. I'd say it's probably more 120. When you look at...
We're fucking old, aren't we?
I'm old. I mean, I've been around Arsenal for 53 years. Kenny, you've got to be, what, 47-ish years?
Well, yeah, fact to my mum, she told me it's from birth.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And you, Lee. And this is the thing, right, is that we have vast knowledge of good, average, and extremely bad situations at Arsenal. And what our three brains say is that we can analyse that. We're not sheep. We can look at it, break it down, make an analysis, and say, well, we were good then, we were shit then, and we're shit now. So where do we need to go? Well, we need to go, people, with a decent bloody manager.
Yeah.
Arsenal have proved time immemorial with a shit manager, we're shit. And so have many other clubs. So until these Muppets out there on all these streams and all these different platforms get it and stop spouting crap, then the youngsters that are being influenced, and I'm not saying just young kids 15, you know, I was talking to guys at Arsenal the last time, look, a couple of weeks back. There's kids who are like 22, 23. And they're believing in all this bullshit and brainwashing. And, you know, there's a couple of guys I was sat to, I said, do you actually believe all this? Like it's Project Youth. Do you actually, you know, is this something that you would go with? Oh yeah, it's working, mate. Yeah, it's definitely working. I said, tell me. I'm obviously getting dementia or something because I just don't understand what you're talking about because I don't see anything working personally. I ain't seen nothing working for 2 years. So explain to me. But they couldn't. That's the fact. And
that's it. When you stick it on people and say, okay, break it down. What's he doing then? They have got nothing other than, oh yeah, but he won an FA Cup. Okay, well done. So did Roberto Martinez. He also got relegated that season. Yeah. Go and ask Wigan fans if they want the FA Cup or whether they want to stay in the Premier League.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Me personally, I'll take the trophy because a trophy is a trophy. But Wigan fans on the back of relegation have now been relegated. Yeah. That club's finished. Right. So the FA Cup, as much as we all love the FA Cup, and I'm not dissing it, it's not the fucking be all and end all. And it don't mean that you keep your job. Top clubs sack managers for winning a trophy. Yeah. Like Juve sacked their manager, he won 2. Then they sacked him, Pirlo. I think Ronald Koeman won a trophy, didn't he? He's just been sacked. He won a cup out there. He's just been sacked.
Because they're daddy clubs, though. That's the thing. If you're a daddy club, or you have aspirations of being a daddy club, then you're going to you have to challenge for the league. Arsenal have to challenge for the league. I mean, these guys, and I say use the term loosely. I went on my Instagram. I had a few people talking about, the process. I've just stop embarrassing yourself. Stop talking about the process. Stop boring me to tears about it. I don't want to hear about the process. I just want to hear about us challenging for the league. I've seen. And
that's all it is. It's not go and win it. It's we want to see a challenge.
Right? Challenge. Yeah. That's real progress.
We win it, if we win it, great.
Progress. You know what I mean. I want at the end of the season to be satisfied and think, you know what, this club has really had a go at going for the league. This club has really had a go at going for the top 4. We've seen some really good performances. We've seen consistency in all positions, and that's all. And that's what I want. I want this club on the up. And if Mikel does it, fine, so be it. But if he doesn't, I want him gone. I'm not settling because how many positions do we need?
Kenny, I mean, the thing is, it just. I don't know who this guy here is, this comment here. He's an Arsenal fan who he's
mate, before you say anything, I totally agree with him. He ain't the right manager because he wants to win.
Yeah, that's it.
Hang on, let's just go somewhere else on that. Why is he not the manager for Arsenal? Because he would make a massive difference at Arsenal. He has
demand.
Huh?
It demands to win.
Well,
Give
yes.
me what I need to win.
And he has direction, and he has purpose, and he knows where he wants to go with a team. So I don't understand that comment. I really don't. And I'd love to hear why you think that, because why would you not want, if you are an Arsenal fan, and I don't know if that guy was, why would you not want better? You always want better.
Can I ask you that question for you?
Go on.
He's one of the people we're talking about. He's an avid watcher of the other podcasts, where, but the buzzword level-headed. And that's just factual. He'll go and watch, like a certain person who's got journalist aspirations. Won't mention his name, but he only seems to be going to like matches when his mate comes from abroad. That guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or the guy that is or his mate who's like the tactical genius and the expert in German football. That guy.
Yeah.
Or he'll watch one of the guys who got a football content award. You know what I mean? So basically someone who's level-headed, where they make up all sorts of, new tactical innovations. Oh, Arteta's doing this. I mean, and the thing that gets me is that those guys know full well that all the alleged tactical innovations is a load of rubbish. That all the things that they talk about, gegenpress, gegenpress has been around for the last 50 years. But they won't tell their fans that because they want to seem like geniuses. They'll talk about all these little formations. Well, come on. All three of us who've got about 120 years of experience have seen all these formations come and go. So they're not kidding us, but they're highly influencing people like that guy who mentioned about, get over it. What's his name? Carl, whatever he is. And that's factual. I know factually, if I was to go and have a butcher's at one of the, the other podcasts, look at the comments below, I'll find that guy in there, factually.
Yeah, it's true.
With great authority.
It's true, mate. You're right about bringing up these new, these newfound things to make out Arteta's doing a good job. Yeah. When we signed Martin Odegaard, there was a new one that I'd never heard of called XT, expected threat. Well, how do you fucking test that? How do you measure that metric of a player? Expected threat. Did he score? No. Did he create? No. Well, he ain't a threat then, yeah. Yeah. But that when we signed Odegaard had the best XT in the league from when we signed him in January to when we re-signed him on a permanent, above all these other players like Kevin De Bruyne and all that. I was like, who makes this shit up? The latest one is this from The Athletic that, again, has been posted out on AFTV's Instagram because they only seem to post big accounts on there. But there we go. It's their account. They can do what they want. But this is the latest one. Aubameyang has made more... I'll start again. Aubameyang has made the most pressures by any Arsenal player this season. 135 with 69 in the attacking third. So basically, footballer closes down another footballer. That's all that is. You've closed down another footballer. You've pressured that footballer. That's your fucking job. That is your job. You lose, if the team lose the ball, you all run around and try and get it back. Yeah. How are people sitting and reading this crap back? Oh my God, Aubameyang's working so hard for the manager now. The comments are a joke. The comments are a joke. Oh yes, he's working so much harder for the team. They're playing for the manager. They're playing for the manager, and he's got a worse record than Unai Emery. So were they not there? And they weren't playing for Unai Emery apparently.
Well,
so how's that work?
That's what a person who's desperate for fame, and has a massive Twitter following, and basically lives off the fact that they went to one match in one summer's evening in May. I mean, one match. I mean, there was 3,000 people there, but that person was and her own the only people who were at that match one glorious summer day in May.
Yeah, this
That's
is
the
a
same
good point
person
as
says
well.
lost the dressing
David
room.
Moyes had Everton high pressing for years, and none of these muppets knew what was happening. Great comment. David Moyes did have them high pressing and team pressing, yeah, and that's why they were such hard work, because they'd get in your face, they'd make it difficult to break down, yeah, and then they'd fucking counter attack you as well. But when they lost the ball up, or they had the ball, sorry, you were bringing the ball out the back, they'd push up a little bit and try and nick it back off you, and they scored so many goals like that. And that was what, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, people make up all these new little fads and everything, like, and tactical insight and all that. Like, it's fucking bollocks, mate.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
I've never seen so many people back a manager blindly than have with this manager. The cult of Arteta is worse than Ozil and Wenger put together, because you literally can't say anything about this geezer at all. At least with Ozil, people go, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, I can kind of see what you're saying. Wenger, yeah, but look at what he's done in the past. At least he had credit in the fucking bank, Wenger. Yeah. This guy's got what?
Nothing.
Nice drip.
Yeah, but basically it's a new buzzword, right? That, you know, you have to, if you're too negative about this manager, oh, you're not an Arsenal fan. Like one pork chop when it said that anyone who doesn't back Arteta isn't an Arsenal fan. How? Because of the fact that we've been on a run since our horrendous start to this season. So we're not Arsenal fans because we don't believe this manager. We want better. But that's the same sort of narrative that you do get with this, this fan base. This fan base, right, is in conflict in itself. It's probably horsewhipping itself because they feel bad because they won on marches to get Arsene Wenger out, or they feel bad because they accepted that Arsene Wenger had to go. But then when Unai Emery came along and the results didn't improve, they've now tried to reinvent themselves and write history. For instance, there's a Twitter account run by a few people who basically go on, I don't know whether they're like a transport company, whatever they call themselves, who are basically now saying, oh, you lot were wrong because you wanted to get rid of Arsene Wenger. Seriously, they actually believe that, and they've actually got a few pork chops who actually believe it. I mean, there's a pork chop who lives on the sort of Sheffield, East Midlands like area, who just talks absolute rubbish, and he's an absolute dimlo, but he'll go around talking absolute nonsense. I think he's more interested in climate change or vaccine stuff to even talk about Arsenal nowadays. But that is the situation about the fan base, is that they say, "Oh, yes, all unite." I don't want to unite with you guys. After not unite with you guys, I don't. How can I unite with you guys when I always bang on about the fact that everyone should have their own individual supporters experience? Don't need to unite with you guys. I just, I am, with my own supporters experience, I'm going to hold this football club to account, and I'm going to remind this football club that we're the third biggest club in this country, and I want us to challenge, and I'm going to do it with my own supporters experience.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Listen, there's 500 people watching this. Smash the likes up, everyone. A lot of people in the chat are saying that we're signing this guy, Vlahovic, in January. Apparently, a journalist has tweeted it out. If anyone can find that, then or tell me where to find it, then that'd be great, because I don't think you'd be able to put the link in the chat because I've banned all links. So yeah, but yeah, let's move on to the Watford game, because we are on 9 unbeaten at the minute. I think, is it 9 or is it 8? Yeah, is it 8 or 9?
No, I think it's 9 games
in all comps, and it's 7 in the league, 2 in the cups. That's right. We've obviously got Watford at home, and what are you feeling for that, Jez? Obviously, we've got international break after that, and then we've got Liverpool.
Good luck there. I would actually love Arsenal to actually turn up at Watford and actually play for 90 minutes. We've seen them play against Spurs for about 50 odd. We saw them play against Leicester for about 40, we were good, and we looked good, and we looked good against Spurs. Would it be possible, Mr. Arteta, that we could actually get and play for 90 minutes and actually rip a new one for a team like we used to? Would it actually be possible we could score 5 goals in a Premier League game? Because I'm really racking my brain now. I'm thinking, when did we last do that? West Brom, the carrier bag up, 6, fair play. But, it was a third string West Brom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But what do I think is going to happen? What do I think? I reckon it'll be the usual shaky setup. Thank God Xhaka's not there, so we won't be scared. We get scared against Watford. They're in 16th, we're in 6th spot. I'm really hoping, as I always say, Arsenal win. It doesn't mean I'm Arteta in, as a few people have been making comments. I'm not. Can't stand the guy. Don't want him. Never wanted him. Didn't even want him as a bloody midfielder when we bought him. So, Mr. Arteta, please set your team up. Pick the right squad. Pick the team that you picked for the last couple of games. That's working, I think, quite well. But get out there, Aubameyang. Do what you're supposed to do. Press players for your £300,000 a week, because that's what I expect you to do. I actually expect you to do that, because that's what you bloody paid for. And get in there, and you've lost your pace, but you're good in the box. Score some sodding goals.
Yeah, 100%.
Rant over.
Totally agree, mate. I don't know why I'm getting feedback again. You've not got your earpods in.
They don't work on it.
Don't they?
There's no feedback.
Let me come out and come back in again. Yeah?
Nice, Lee.
Yeah, it's not me.
No, it's not me either, because I've got my AirPods in.
My Apple AirPods won't link to this iMac.
No, no. What you need is you'll need earphones. Apple AirPods don't are not very good for StreamYard. It's things like this. What I've got up here. These things, like just normal earphones. So, for instance, some earphones for your computer, or if you're using like a phone, just earphones.
I have to
I
look.
don't know what it is.
It's my iPad. They work on my iPad, but the other day when I did a fan cam with Lee, we were having sound issues. So, and there's nothing else on in here. Nothing.
No, not at all. I think what's happened with iPad and with the MacBook, the AirPods work, but with normally with your phone or other things, it's normally earphones. Because I think because it's playback.
I have to get the wife, the technical guru, on it.
Oh, right. Don't worry. My wife's our technical guru as well. You know what I mean?
Well, she set when we bought this thing, this iMac, she set it all up. To be fair,
yeah.
It was. I'll tell you what. We actually bought this for when we were doing homeschooling for the grandson.
Oh, right.
Because he had to do his schoolwork when we were looking after him. Sometimes when his mum was at work, so we bought this so he could do it. Which is a bit of a bonus, really. So there we go.
That's good stuff.
I'm back, and the echo's gone. Yes, we've sorted
it was you then all along.
Yeah, we got the Mikel Arteta bug out of the system, and we're back. And listen, smash the likes up, everyone. I just want to read this, right, because I've just Googled this as well. Arsenal have agreed a £68 million deal for Dusan Vlahovic transfer after London meeting between Arsenal and Fiorentina, and they have agreed on the price. This is in the Daily Express, right, which you wouldn't say is one that's like throws transfer news out there. It's not like the Sun, is what I'm saying. Yeah, so maybe just maybe this is true. But having said that, we haven't got rid of Lacazette yet. So I don't see if we're buying this guy. When are we buying him? Does it say when? Because I can't see him coming in January unless we're getting rid of one of Lacazette or Aubameyang.
Lacazette will go Newcastle, man.
Well, I can't rule that out. But I think what's happening is that Arsenal depends. But then again, you can never say never because I never thought we would spend. Remember, we bought Lacazette for about 52 million, and then we bought, and then in January afterwards we bought Aubameyang. So you can never rule it out of Arsenal. It depends what we're going for. If there's a chance of us, like shadow boxing for the top four, then I can definitely see this guy coming in January. But there'll have to be two people who have to leave. Simple. It has to happen.
Well, this is the thing, right? We've got ourselves into a dodgy position here. And again, Wenger has got a lot to play in this because Wenger said a few years back, and everyone's sitting there making him out to be some kind of visionary. He sat there and said that players will now, you'll see more and more players running their contracts down. Yeah, he said that about 3 years ago, whatever it was. He was basically telling players to run their contracts down. Because he was basically saying to him, if you run your contracts down, you're going to get a fucking massive signing on fee at the next club, or you're going to get a bigger wage packet. So we've now got ourselves in a position where we've got 5 players out of contract this summer. And I see something the other day that between 2012 and 2019, the players that we sold or left for free, right, total, cost us 146 mil, which was 33% less than what we should have got for the value of the players at the time. 146 million. That's pretty much what we spent this summer. Yeah.
You're going to see that a lot of clubs, though. What Pogba? Pogba's going to leave Man United for free. That's a guarantee. And
this is the problem you've got, though, right? Is that Lacazette, for example, he can go and do a deal with a team abroad in January. So then what incentive is there to play him? Like, for him to play well? Like,
the problem is that without him in the side, we're going back to the bad old ways of the first 3 games of the season, the bad old ways of last season. Although he played a lot of last season, but when Lacazette's hot, you've got to play him because there's no coincidence that we play our best football when he's in a team, regardless of his situation, whether we think he's loyal or not. We just have to. Because we've done that before, haven't we? We did that. We took a risk with Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil in the same season where, we could have sold them, maybe should have sold them, but we were desperate to get back into the Champions League. And, Arsene Wenger was well-meaning. Personally, from a fan point of view, I thought, well, if you're not signing a new contract, get lost. But Arsene Wenger, needs to get back in that top 4 because he didn't get in the season before. So, again, I think we may have the same situation with Lacazette as well, where we're basically saying, run your nuts off, get the best out of our players, and who knows, we may offer you a new contract. We know you're not going to sign, and that we know you're going to go elsewhere. That's the problem. We are so weak as an attacking force without him in the team.
I totally agree with you. I think we play better with both of them. You can't play one or the other. You have to play both. But then the problem with playing both is one of them ends up on the fucking left wing, and he's shit on the left wing. People say, he scores loads of.
Which
I'm
one?
on about Aubameyang. Yeah, I don't want to see Aubameyang on the left. Kenny had enough. He's left. I don't want to see Aubameyang on the left wing. People are saying, but he comes in and he pings him top corner. Yeah, that's cool, but without the ball, that guy offers absolutely nothing on the left wing. Yeah, he is basically like Ronaldo without the ball. Yeah, Ronaldo for Man United without the ball does absolutely fuck all. The same as Aubameyang pretty much. But you get them in the box because they're going to bag you the goals. Right? And the partnership with Lacazette, we see it the other day. We've seen it under Unai, and we've seen it under this manager quite a few times as well. That when they play together, we normally score and win. And I don't know why it's took him in his head so long to do this. I just want to come back to this comment very quickly. No way, 68 mil, no way after the Conkeys are getting sued for hundreds of millions. This is just PR rubbish. A couple of things, because Sky have announced that Jeff Shreves is doing an interview with Josh Kroenke tomorrow, and all of a sudden we're linked to a £68 million footballer and the deal's done, yeah? I don't think the deal is done, is it, lads? That's just another load of PR bollocks because he's doing the interview. In terms of the Kroenkes being sued for hundreds of millions, that's the wrong information. Yeah. Yes, there's a load of them being sued. It's not all going to be just stuck on Stan Kroenke or Josh Kroenke, right? I think half the fucking league are getting sued. Yeah, no ways, Kenny, but they are getting sued, and it is going to cost loads of dough. Maybe it is hundreds of million, but I don't see it sticking anyway, or a lot of it sticking, because there's loads of different things they're getting done for. I don't see all of it sticking. Apparently, the Kroenkes will be liable for most of the money. I can't see that sticking either, because if they're all in it together, how can one person be paying the bill? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Listen, it's interesting. I don't really take much notice to Josh and Stan Kroenke's businesses out there, so I don't really know. But from what I've seen, there's loads of people that are being sued within the league. And it was something to do with his move at stadium and stuff as well. So I don't know. But smash the likes up, everyone. Thank you for the super chats that you've been putting in as well. Appreciate that from everyone who's put one in. And thank you, my guy. Appreciate that, buddy. Real ones. Thank you. You're the real ones, because you lot come and watch it every week. We're just here talking, man. We just we come and talk, and that's it. And you guys love it and watch it. So you're the real ones, not us. But yeah, let's go back onto Watford. Where was we with Watford? Did I ask you, Jez? I think
you did ask me.
Yeah, I did. Kenny, did I ask you about Watford? You're on mute, mate. I can't hear you, mate. It's all gone wrong, isn't it? We've got gremlins in the stream. See, it's your fault now.
Arteta.
Arteta gremlins back again. Yeah, big up to everyone watching, man. Big up to every single one of you watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you smash the likes up. There's nowhere near enough likes on this video. 204 likes.
Let's be honest. You know, a club like Arsenal should kick a team like Watford aside. And for the last 2-3 years, you know, I sit and I worry about it, thinking, well, can we actually get a result there?
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, it was like Watford, yeah, okay, it'll be about 4-1, 4-0, 4-1. Now you're thinking, will we get a 2-0? Maybe a 2-1. That's how times have changed, you know. And under this bloody idiot we've got, I can honestly see if they get a draw. If he gets all the tactics wrong, let's be fair, Watford are fighting. They need a result, and I could quite easily, if he gets it all wrong, man, he could turn us over. I could see that.
Well, they bagged 5 past Everton, didn't they? That game was mad. The end of that game was just unbelievable, man. They just capitulated. But yeah, they've got Ranieri in there now, and it's good. Like, listen, the first couple of games he had or whatever were poor results, but once you get a proper manager in there that's got a wealth of experience in certain countries, i.e. England, Italy, etc., etc., these managers have had a set style of and a way of winning for years, decades. Roy Hodgson, prime example. He wouldn't rip up any trees. He'd go and get the odd result against Man United at Old Trafford or against us and stuff like that. But he was steady Eddie because he built a formation and a structure in his teams. I said, see, they got me on the structure buzzword now. The structure within their team.
Ratio.
Which would then ratio the scoreline more often than not against teams in the league to keep him up in the middle part of the table. Right? He did it every club he went at, Roy Hodgson. Fulham, Palace, everywhere he's been. Yeah, he's kept teams kind of. I know he's probably been relegated a few times along the way, but he's still done it in multiple countries. Ranieri is no different, and that's why their longevity in the game, these managers, is mad because they're still doing it. David Moyes has managed 1,000 games, 1,000 fucking games. How many of our fans would take David Moyes? I bet they'd all turn their nose up at David Moyes. I'll tell you something.
Lee, would you take David Moyes?
I'd take him over Arteta all day long.
Yeah, but
all day long. I said that when he first went back to West Ham.
Yeah, but Arteta is using a David Moyes blueprint because the manager that had the most influence over his career and the manager who got him to play his best football wasn't Arsene Wenger. It's one of the biggest myths in football that Arteta played his best football for Arsenal, even though he became our captain because of his seniority and because, he was always at the club. He was recognised as having a tactical brain. And he always talked about tactics with the manager. But the best, everyone knows that Arteta at Everton was a bad boy, mate. Bad boy player. Him and Cahill and, were excellent players. And, and there were times when he played along, they had the Yakubu for a few seasons there as well, scoring goals. So that's where he played his best football. And I still think that in terms of like the way he manages our teams and manages Arsenal, that is very much influenced by David Moyes, not Pep Guardiola and not by Arsene Wenger. Managers that he's got huge respect for, but David Moyes is his go-to person.
100%. But this is the thing. Imitation, is like, you can't always imitate what somebody else has done. Kenny, if I took you out knocking on doors back in the day, me and Tony Rolfe were saying, come on, Kenny, come and knock on doors.
There's no way anyone will buy off me. No way.
They probably think you're a bailiff.
No way will they be.
Who's this fucking big muscly guy knocking on my door?
The only way I'll be able to do it is if I worked in the office. There's no way anyone will, especially.
And that's what I'm saying. Me and Tone could have said to you, come and do this, and we'd sit you in an office for 2 weeks and tell you exactly what to say, how to say it. Yeah, blah blah blah. Do this, Kenny. Just come and stand and listen to me and listen to Tony. And then go, right, Kenny, go and knock on 100 doors.
Lee, to do that job, I'll have to lose about 4 stone to actually be for your customers not to be intimidated by me. You know it and I know it.
It's so true. I can't lie. But that's what I'm saying. You can try and imitate something. How about do your own thing and do it well? Because David Moyes does, and I agree with what you're saying about Arteta. I do think he's more towards David Moyes than Pep, because if you look at the way we play, we are set up like fucking David Moyes' team. The difference is David Moyes knows what he's doing. Yeah. So that's why they're going out pumping Villa 4-1 and they're spanking other teams along the way. They won again yesterday. They are flying, man. And when I spoke to Corey the other day, I said, mate, you must be loving it. 18 months, 2 years ago, you were in a relegation battle when he came in. So now you're fucking fourth. Right? And in Europe, he goes, I can't believe what he's done. Yeah, he goes, I can't believe what he's done. He goes, there was nothing to suggest from the previous time he was here that this was going to happen. So everyone was like, oh, Moyes is back, fucking Moyes. And look at what he's done, man. But that's because...
Lee, he's not doing anything spectacular. He's got players like Lanzini, Fornells. He's got Antonio. He's got players like...
Yeah, but how many of these get in our team? That's what I'm saying, Kenny. How many of these players you're naming get in Arsenal's first 11?
All right, fair enough. But what he's doing, he's playing to their strengths. He knows full well that, Cresswell likes to get down the flanks as a left back and put crosses in. He knows Antonio is going to run the channels. He knows Bowen, is an inverted winger. He knows Lanzini and Fornells are little grifters in midfield, and he knows that Declan Rice. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You got a phone call, yeah?
Yeah. Some pork chop trying to sell me something his phone, but he knows like all these players that he's basically got players who are attacking players, and what he's done is that he's got Souček in to be like a Brian Robson, to go box to box, and he's got cover at right back for Fredericks with Sofel. So he's just used his intelligence. He's kept it simple. He's used his experience, and maybe in a few years' time when Arteta, becomes a more rounded manager, maybe in about 10 years' time or 15 or 20 years' time, whichever team he manages, he's going to be playing like that. But at the moment, Arteta is a safety first manager. There's no doubt in my mind that Arteta's may turn out to be the coach that everyone says he is, but at the moment, he's not the right fit for us.
100%. And that's what we come back to what Jez said earlier, right at the very beginning. We've watched Arsenal for over 100 years between the three of us, and we've seen the good, the bad, and the amazing, right? And the really bad, right? And we've all decided that the only way you get out of a mess is to employ a fucking top manager. Yeah, that's been proven time and time again over the years at multiple football clubs, including ours. Yeah, David Dean had the insight, to go and find Arsene Wenger. there ain't ever going to be another Arsene Wenger that you can just find out of nowhere to go and do what he done at that time. Yeah, it was perfect for us, you know, because we just come off of the back of an idiot in charge, right? Fucking, and George Graham was quality, ex-player. They knew the mentality of the geezer. They knew he'd be a great manager. Yeah, and I think he was at QPR? Is it QPR? Yeah, Millwall. Sorry, Millwall. That's it. I knew it was one of them, but yeah, it's like you'd look at it, and this guy hasn't even managed a fucking football team in his life, and there's the biggest job, or the third biggest club in the country. Have that job, mate. Now, when you actually think about it and strip it back, that is actually really embarrassing. You've just taken. Oh, you sit next to Pep. Oh yeah, come on then, mate. Come on. Yeah, you can have the third biggest club in the country. Never managed a job. Yeah, that there sums up this football club. The fact that we have just gone bollocks to it. And now everyone's buying in to this long-term youth project. Let me tell you something, people, right? Clip this. I don't care. There's 493 people watching this right now. Clip it. 497. Clip it. Yeah. Project Youth has only worked once in this country, and that was in 1992 at Manchester United. Yeah, it's only worked once at Barcelona, and that was with the team that Pep turned into fucking an amazing team. And it's worked a couple of times at Ajax. Other than that, can somebody tell me where a Project Youth has banged? And that's in all of my years watching football.
They don't invariably work. I mean, you know, Leeds fans can talk about, you know, the team that under O'Leary, when O'Leary inherited a good bunch of youngsters from George Graham, mainly Harold Wilson, because I think George Graham wasn't there long enough because he went to Tottenham. But O'Leary benefited from players like, you know, Kuehl, you know, like Hart, you know, players like Woodgate, you know, all those sort of players. And they bought Lee Bowyer joined Leeds from Charlton at the age of 19, and when he, like I said, was bought by Harold Wilkinson. But even then, the highest Leeds finished was third in the table. I think it was third in the table, and they got to Champions League semi-final. Yeah. They got to in 2001. So maybe Leeds fans will say, "Well, that was a successful side," but invariably, you do have to have some sort of experience alongside it. And you know, Leeds probably didn't have enough experienced players. But mainly, when you talk about the side that Fergie's Fledglings in '92 that won the FA Youth Cup, that went on to win a double, you know, they still had Schmeichel, they still had Cantona, they still had Steve Bruce and Pallister in the side, and they still had an experienced Andy Cole when they won the double in '96. So it wasn't a fully fledged youth experiment. And, you know, Barcelona could say the same thing, that, you know, under that great side under Pep Guardiola, that it wasn't a fully fledged youth experience. It was a mixture of the both.
100%, mate. But a couple of people saying Monaco. That Monaco team was pretty decent, and then got ripped to shreds. And then they nearly got relegated when Henry went there. But yeah, Monaco. But this is what I'm saying. In all of the years we've watched football, we can count on one hand how many youth projects have worked. Now, people are saying Borussia Dortmund because they got Champions League fund. Okay, maybe we can throw that in there then. Yeah, but still, we're scraping the barrel here, and people are being sucked in by this football club's PR. The biggest accounts on all socials being promoted by other bigger accounts. They're all promoting each other, these big accounts, yeah, to keep this fucking lie and facade fucking going. It's pathetic. This is not going to bang, and I'm going to make another statement right now. Right, so you can clip this as well. Right now, as it stands, I am saying Smith Rowe is going to be a better footballer than Bukayo Saka in 3-4 years' time. Because I've seen enough from Saka, and I'm not trying to get onto him. I'm not trying to dig him out. Yeah, and I've seen enough from Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe's got more about him than Saka. Smith Rowe can grab a game and dictate a game. Yeah, Saka can't. He's a different type of player.
Is he our Foden? Is he our Phil Foden then, Smith Rowe?
I don't think he's that good, if I'm honest. Not as good as Foden. He's a brilliant player.
Well,
don't get
Alan Shearer said on the overlap that Phil Foden's going to be world class.
Fucking Alan Shearer, that geezer with his dead celebration every time he scored a goal. Like, that's his statue outside Newcastle, isn't it? Him with his celebration, his arm up. It's like, no, to be fair, they're both very good players, but Saka's miles better when he's playing for England. And Smith Rowe, I've seen Smith Rowe And I've said all season, and you guys know this. I've said all season, start adding goals to your game. You don't score enough.
Yeah.
Neither of you do score goals. Yeah, this season, Smith Rowe has started to score goals. I think he scored 3 in October. So it's like, okay, can you now do that again in November? Can you do it? I think he will, because I do think he's a good player. Saka looks like he needs a fucking Red Bull to give him some wings or something, because he looks knackered, mate. Yeah, and it's like,
yeah, but
I like
a lot of
both
that's
them.
down to Southgate, though. That's down to Southgate. You know, Southgate needed that new dimension after the first 2 games against Croatia and Scotland. He needed that dimension. He played himself into the England side with that performance against the Czech Republic.
Let me come back to this comment in 1 second. I just want to read this one, Neftali. Yeah, bro, this hate is real, mate. I think AFTV are live if you want to go and watch them, mate. Yeah, so you don't have to watch it. It's not hate. If you actually stop typing, don't block him either, lads. It's his opinion. Yeah. If you actually stop typing crap like that, mate, and actually clear your ears out, get the cotton buds, get all the wax out your ears. It's about 120 years worth of Arsenal knowledge in this 3 people sat here, mate. Yeah, you might actually fucking learn something, can it? Like, do you know what I mean? About hate. How's it hate?
Oh, so that's the thing, because I remember getting piped in some of the comments for the video, and I noticed that, you know, because I know that AFTV, the comments in AFTV is not really from football people. They'll talk about your appearance, whether you've got a big nose, or you've got muscles, or whether you've got shaved facial hair, you know, little kids. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, if you're going to make comments like that, go over. I'm sure that.
Mate, there's loads of channels live right
AFTV.
now. I could go on YouTube right now and point you in directions of all these channels that tell you everything you want to hear. Yeah, I ain't telling you everything I want to hear. You want to hear. Yeah, because I'm just going to tell you as it is, and so are the lads on here, Kenny and Jez. At the end of the day, yeah, we don't sit there professing to. Yeah, we don't sit here proclaiming and professing to be the best Arsenal fans in the world. The one thing we do say is we've got a fucking good knowledge of our football club between the 3 of us, right? And we know this club between the 3 of us probably inside out. Yeah, not even probably, fucking is. Yeah, you 2 know more than me. Yeah, and Kenny's fucking memory on this football club is a joke, as Jez said the other day. Like, before you even finished the question, he gave you the answer. I was like, how the fuck? Yeah, but this is the thing. It's like, if you want to have a show that's entertaining and all of that, go and watch something else, mate, because we're going to give you straight facts. It's called the Real Talk Podcast for a reason, mate, because we're real with it. And if you don't like it, don't click on it again, because you'll upset yourself, mate. Yeah, and you don't want to have an upset weekend when Arsenal.
You got to remember. You remember the fan cam you mentioned is trying to go in a new direction. As I
they are. Come on, listen, they can do what they want. I couldn't give a shit, Kenny. Yeah? They can do what they want. Right? But when it starts affecting, others, because they're being fucking fake with it, then I'm going to have my say. Yeah, and some of the bullshit I've seen on there, that's why I pulled it out.
Yeah, but one thing, Lee, right? I don't care what anyone says. The truest thing anyone told me, you can't put the genie back in a bottle. All right? It doesn't work. All right? Once you let the genie out, that's it.
Yeah.
You can't, just like, for instance, people who hate AFTV and hate other podcasts, well, I'm sorry, they're here to stay, because guess what? It's a successful format. And it's free, and other people are going to want to have their go at it. Just like anyone who goes on the fan cams and, you know, feels that they have to act a certain way. Well, they've seen people go on that channel and, you know, do some excellent things with their lives through the channel. So they're going to, you know, say, well, I want that for myself, and good luck to them. But you've got to remember one thing, right? Is that no matter how much you try to change the way you are and the way you try to convey yourself, albeit, you know, having a few characters in there or getting rid of a few characters or marginalise a few characters, you know, the Arsenal fan base is still going to hate that channel, because as far as they're concerned, that, you know, their cards are marked by Arsenal fan base.
Yeah. This harps back to the point I was trying to put across earlier. Look, I am no Arsenal expert. There's people out there with vastly greater knowledge of Arsenal than I've got or will ever have. My knowledge of Arsenal is from experiences gained over 53 years. I can be wrong at times, and I'll be the first one to put my hands up and say I am. I've said it about players, and I'll be the first to say it, and I will apologise. But I think people get carried away with the hate thing. It's not hate. It's fact.
Because they're fucking snowflakes, Jez.
It's a debate. There's three adults here that have been around for quite a while that can actually sit here, have a discussion in an amenable way, and have a discussion with people in the chat. I'll give you an example, right? When I was at the Emirates a few weeks ago, I was chatting to this bloke, and he was talking about the youth project. And I said, I don't get it, man. I said, explain it to me. And he couldn't. And I said, right. He said, I do watch you on the Lee Gunner channel. I said, oh, well, nice one. Yeah, it's very nice. And he said, I just can't agree with what you guys say sometimes. I said, well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good because that means you have an opinion, your own opinion. And Lee, Kenny, Sal, Bless Cheek, when he was with us, have opinions. And you have to have an opinion. And I try to say to this guy in a nice way, as long as you're not a sheep and you follow the mass with what you are being dictated to, like Germany was in the Second World War by the Nazi Party, then that's all good. You have an opinion, you have a brain, you have a thought, and you can develop that thought and that belief. And I get it. I've seen it in the chat. People say, Jez, you talk shit. Well, yeah, I probably do. I've talked shit all my life. But, that's the way it is. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I have an opinion. And my opinion is, at this point in time, Arteta is not the right man to lead Arsenal forward. And if it upsets you, go back into your basements, go back into your little dark rooms. Don't go out in the sunlight because it'll upset you. Don't go to a fucking football match.
Oh, don't go to a game, Jesus. Go to an away game. Fucking hell, you'll be in tears.
And that is life, people. You've
made a great point because not everybody who comes in here on a regular basis to watch this here or to watch any of my streams, right? Some people that have been here since day one or been here for one day, they'll sit there and they will agree with most of what I say at times. Hence why they come back and watch it again because they like how I say it. I've got loads of fans in here that support other teams, and then I've got other people in here as well. Nobody in this chat would agree with me 100%, but they agree with a lot of what I say, which is why they like what I'm doing and come back and watch it again. But they're never going to agree with me 100%. But that's what it's about. And when people say you got controversial opinions, why is it controversial? What? Because everyone else is just a sheep and I can think outside the box and I can then go and have my opinion. And then in 2 years' time, you'll go, oh yeah, he was right. Well, you know what I mean? It's mad. Same with Rance. I just did a show with Rance. And he's been saying about Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo. Tifo Football have put a video together, and it's about how Ronaldo is causing a problem at Man United. Yeah. So we just did a stream, and he was just going off. He played the whole 6-minute video. He goes, I've been telling all these people for fucking 2 years about, Bruno and about Ronaldo. So we sat there, broke it all down. He's going, yeah, but because I'm rude, because I'm blunt, because I ain't got a posh voice, and because I ain't using these little backdrops and dropping arrows in and this and that, nobody gives a shit. But as soon as a massive channel with 1 million followers, Tifo, put that out there, all of a sudden everyone's agreeing with it. And it's
therein lies the problem.
People see the numbers and they go, boom, oh, they must be right because they got the biggest number.
Well, therein lies the problem, right? I was having a debate, right, and it was a great channel, and one of the comments said, because I was with me, good old, I was with Kevin Campbell, guy I've got a lot of time for, a lot of respect for. One of the comments said, I think I'm going to take Kevin Campbell's opinion because he's played the game. So it didn't matter whether I was right about the history, it's because Kevin Campbell said, and that's a comment. That is what was said. And I was thinking, oh look, I looked at the comments and it was like, I was thinking, seriously, do you guys not have an opinion of your own? To the extent that, you know, you watch.
No, they don't know, Kenny. They
do you
don't.
actually watch what's
They
happening?
don't. They don't.
You know what I
Most
mean?
of these people
I mean,
are fucking teenagers, Kenny. Let's be real. Yeah, teenagers. You know what you were like as a teenager, Kenny and Jez. I know what I was like as a teenager.
well,
Very,
sponge.
very,
You're
very
a sponge.
influenced by people.
No, you're a
very
sponge.
impressionable. Yeah. Used to go out in drip and designer gear, thinking I was the chap on a night out. Yeah. And them days have all gone. My forehead's got bigger. But that's that most of these people, Kenny, that support football clubs on social media are under the age of 25. I have to accept that. Yeah. And I have to accept.
You definitely have to accept that. I think what's happening right now is that I think most of the podcasts, right, at the moment, their genre is, that wretched term, level-headed fan, and likes to have a debate. So invariably, there isn't really much room for our form. Without, I'll say, with great gratitude, Lee, without you, I don't think that there'd be any room for someone for me on a podcast. I know it factually.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
You don't have to thank me, mate.
No, but it's a fact, though. It's a fact.
Let's be real, Kenny, right? If this channel didn't exist, and I'm sure there's thousands of Arsenal fans out there that would love it not to exist, right? But guess what? There's fucking 64,000 that are subscribed to it that love it every week. Yeah, there's a million views every month, apart from last month, because I had a week off when Chig passed away, pretty much. So I think I did 780,000 views last month, which would have been a mil if I'd done the work. It's 1 million a month. Even with that, I actually looked at my analytics last night, and in the last 365 days, I've done 12.1 million views. There was no football all summer. I've had a couple of weeks off here and there when Claude passed and when Chig passed. And it's like, it's just mad. Over 1 million people a month watch this channel. You know, and I know if you add up all the million, a lot of them are repeat viewers. Yeah. So if you actually break it all down, it's not 1 million different people watching it. I get that. It's still fucking mad though. It's mental. And I sat there last night and I was like, if this channel didn't exist, is there anyone else out there that's actually trying to confront the club, trying to raise the standards?
I can't think of one.
Maybe
there ain't there.
Maybe they can recommend a few
there isn't
to us.
one person in there. There's one person on the fan cam that has made a name for himself where they're calling out the owner.
Well,
apart from that, I don't know anyone else.
Diesel does on Claude and the Banter.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I meant. Apart from Diesel. I was saying, apart from Diesel, I don't know anyone else who does that.
I mean, since I've been coming on this on there, the other week, after debate with this whoever he was, I've been warned never to go into Tottenham again. Never to go.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Because I'm going to get done up and I'm not welcome. And I said to this guy, I said, "What have I done to upset you?" He said, "I just don't agree with your views, and you go on that Lee Gunner channel." I said, "So, how does that affect your life? What do you worry about it? Do you?"
Well, they have sleepless nights, mate. They can't fucking hack it. Lee Gunner's had 30 million views since he started the channel less than 3 years ago. Oh my God, he's the sole reason, Lee Gunner. It's almost like I'm like the Unai Emery of the fan base. It's all my fault. It's literally all my fault. It's this channel's fault.
Please don't, Lee. I can't imagine me walking into Tollington and
nobody will do shit, Ken. Jez.
Mate, I'm known in there. And I'll tell you what, if I walked in there, there'd be about 30, 40 blokes go, "Hey, mate, nice to see you, blah, blah, blah." Some little spotty-faced 15-year-old ain't going to do fucking shit.
He ain't going to be in there anyway.
Well,
no, I think what's happened is they try to ingratiate themselves.
20-year-old. Let's say a 20-year-old.
Yeah, but some people, I think what's happened is that I know, like, for instance, there's one woman who actually got kicked off Twitter, but she's built up a base of core following because she hates you, Lee. That's a fact.
Well,
That's
mate,
a fact.
people, mate, if I had to queue up the amount of people that hate me, yeah, it'd go around the whole of Andalusia, mate. But then if I queued up all the people that love watching my streams, yeah, I could probably cover fucking like double the area, or 3 times the area, or 10 times the area, because for every dickhead that don't like me, there's 10 that do, or 3 that do, or 5 that do. And this is what I've finally got in my head, because it has took me a while to get to that, because I do bite at a lot of people, right? And don't get it twisted, I do like biting sometimes, because it's like, no, I'm going to fucking have you up, mate.
Oh, we know that. We know you love. We know you love a bite.
Yeah, but no, I just look at it sometimes, and I'm just like, do you know what? Yeah, it's fucking. It's so frustrating. Like me and Rance were talking about this earlier. It's very frustrating when you are completely the opposite to 90% of your fan base online, right? And you've got both of us have got massive fucking channels with over 1 million subs each on. We're competing with for views, etc., and for the audience. And the average age of a person on fucking social media is more geared towards that than this. So we're always, me and him, very identical in our channels, yeah? And we're always going to build our stuff slower because we're rude, we're blunt, we're more raw with it, yeah? I don't need to sit here and ponce it up. I'm not trying to get a job on TV. Yeah, this is not a professional Sky Sports setup. It's a fucking dead... Look, I mean, I can't even fucking move it. It's wonky, yeah? But I'm not looking to get a job. If you want professionalism, go and watch Sky Sports. Or go and watch fucking BT Sport, because that's professional. If you want raw, ragged, fucking blunt opinions, then cool, this is the place. If you don't and you want excitement and jumping around, coming out with stupid claims in the hope that you might get invited back again, there's plenty of other channels out there for that. This one ain't that. This one is not that at all. And that's why when people say to me, you've got an agenda, well, you wouldn't be here, Jez. Kenny wouldn't be here. I wouldn't throw the link in the chat at the end of every watch along for people to come on and have their say. I don't know who's coming on. I don't know these people. I don't know who's coming on. I don't know what they're going to say. They could get my fucking channel banned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they could literally come out with saying that goes, fuck, and now I get a strike. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't need to have fucking Henry Wright on yesterday, Tottenham fan. I don't need to do a show with Rance. I don't need to fucking do all of this if it's my agenda. So when people say you've got an agenda, my agenda is for this club to do what it's smashed the stadium down for. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's not to get on TV. It's not to get a fucking sponsorship. It's not to fucking twerk for another fucking man's fucking company. Yeah, or any of that. Yeah, this is mine. I work when I want, and I fucking work hard, and I've worked hard for this. And everyone who's come on this channel, big up to every single one of you, man, because you've helped me do this full time. Every single person that's watched it and helped me. Yeah, fucking big up to all of you.
Well, you know, the common denominator between all 3 of us, we don't like being told what to do. I hate being told what to do. I hate being. Don't tell me what to do. I'm a big man. You know, I've been watching this football club all my life, and I know. You know, I mean, my first. You know, I've had professional footballers who used to visit my mate who used to live next door. He used to come because my mate used to play for the club. He's deceased now, but so I don't need, I don't need people, trying to patronise me or saying, "Oh, don't do this or don't do that." Don't, you know what I mean? I don't like you to tell me how to support the club because I'll never do that to you. I love the fact that you love this club so much that you enjoy yourself. I actually love the fact that you get up, you can't wait to see your friends, you can't wait to go to the pub. You can't wait to get the ground and you really have a great day. I love it when I get people telling me about all the great times they had, when they got to Newcastle or they've been to Liverpool. I just love it because it's showing how much enjoyment they get out of watching the football. And I would never dream of telling people what to do. So I don't understand why I'm following that mantra, why they think they could tell me how to support the club. I don't get it. It's
because deep down, Kenny, these people ain't their mates. Yeah, deep down, they're not their mates, right? They're people that they think are mates that are backstab them just like that. Yeah, so their only enjoyment in their whole life is watching Arsenal because they haven't got any mates. They haven't got anything outside of that little community they've got on their social media accounts. They can't go like I did last night. I sat here, I was like, "Oh, let me go and have a pint with my mate." So I went and had a couple of pints. Yeah, they can't do that because they ain't got any mates. So they get out and their thing, and listen, each their own, is to go to football and meet up with their social media friends. Yeah.
Good. You know what? Good luck. If they're having a good time,
Exactly. Good luck to them. Yeah, good luck to him. Let me. I want to read a super chat before we leave as well. Done hour and a half. Big up to everyone watching. Big up to this guy as well. Lee, get a green screen. I've got one down there, mate. Pull up El Gato, and I've got a graphics guy. I need to text him actually and see what the update on that is. Also, Neftali put a super chat in earlier about our new set piece coach that we nabbed from Man City, and just wanted to ask whether you think we've got any better because we've scored a few set pieces. Do you think we've got any better off of them?
I don't know. We score for us. I don't know. Jez, you go.
I can't say I've seen rapid improvement, to be fair. Great corner at Leicester, if you call that. Great header. I wouldn't say I have, to be fair. I'm being honest. I can't say that. No, I can't.
No, Kenny?
Well, the thing about it, like, I think that's the problem. That's the thing with football nowadays is that everyone's earning a living out of football, especially like, you know, everyone. You have to. They have things like, all right, I can understand defensive coach, goalkeeping coach, but a set piece coach, really? I mean, why would you need a set piece coach? I mean, first of all, foremost, you can have it. Doesn't matter whether you have a set piece coach or not. Your delivery has to be top class. If you put great delivery, then defenders who are on the back foot anyway, you'll do well. It's all about delivery. You don't need set coach if you can't beat the first man. And over the years at the Arsenal, and with the exception of ever since George Graham's left the football club, we've been horrendous at set pieces.
Yeah,
because George Graham really, really, really worked at set pieces. You know how to drill. 1991, Brian. 1991. It was 89 and 91. It was either Brian Mould or Anders Limpar. Flick on by Bolt. Adams dives in, heads the ball in. It was so simple. But since then,
I might be wrong. Was he here when Odegaard scored his goal free kick?
Yeah. There
you go. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, the guy.
Oh God, Jez, you're fucking hilarious.
No, but you know what? In terms of set pieces, is that the thing with the set pieces, right? Is that I think if you're going to have a set piece coach, you need it for defensive drills, really, because at set pieces, that's where I think defenses are so well drilled. They know how to do man marking or zone marking. Then everyone works on it in training. So, for instance, zone marking, simple, mark your zone. Anyone who's in your zone, just catch him. Doesn't matter where is your man and not catching him. And I think teams are so good at doing that. That's an influence for abroad or in England. You do the man marking, but the trouble is that the reason why they don't like man marking is because if you lose your man, that means the opposition's got an extra man. And so, really, truth, do you need a set piece coach for that? Really?
But this is what I'm saying. Coaching now is just fucking backwards. It's like they're not coaches; they're literally just the PR puppet. Then you've got a coach for this, a coach for that, a coach for this, a coach for that. What do they actually do? No wonder he's jumping up and down, fucking giving it all of this on fucking match day because he ain't fucking done anything. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got everyone else doing it. It's mad.
It's funny. So going back to coaching, right? I was just watching a program, on YouTube. It's about Everton winning the title in 1987, and I remember. And Kevin Ratcliffe is talking about how Everton played as opposed to, how Dave Watson came from Norwich to Everton, and they were saying that at Norwich they were doing man marking, but Everton, everyone marks zones. That was 35. That was about 35 years ago.
Yeah,
which means it hasn't changed in 2021.
Confused by fucking idiots.
So when I see people talking about these new tactics, well, sorry, that's what it's. Kevin Ratcliffe, 1987, Everton's title winning charge. no marking is, and like I said, defending an area, marking a space, and make sure you get the man who's in your zone. You know what I mean?
It's true, man. It's true. Listen, we're going to wrap this up. Big up to both of you, man. Appreciate it. Kenny, have you got anything coming up? I know there's some MMA on. I think that's already started.
No. One thing is, right, there's on BT Sport box office tomorrow, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Yes.
Fighting Caleb Plant. So it's £19.95 on BT Sport. So if you want to stay up, lose some sleep before the Arsenal game against Watford, then I suggest you go over there. What's that?
Are you going on Sunday?
Oh, that's a give. That's a guarantee, mate. 100%. Hopefully, I'll see you there this time. Make sure you get the train this time, and not get a car.
No, dearie, poor old Pete. It wasn't when he got it to the garage. When the garage looked at it, they took the gearbox down and said it's not the clutch. You know the gear shift. It's the bit that goes, the lay shafts that go into the gearbox. They'd all fallen apart, so you couldn't get it here. And they said the clutch is fine, but now we've taken it out. We've got to change it anyway. But they had to. They've still got the car. They've got to completely strip the gearbox to pieces to get all the bits out.
Oh right.
That's crazy. That's going to cost dough, man. BMW X5, that's not cheap.
No, and it's a BMW garage, so it's going
when I had my 330 convertible, I remember I fucking damaged my bumper. I was going too fast, and I went over a fucking. The road went into one over a humpback bridge. Yeah, I fucking took off. I'd never been down this road before, and I'm just like whoosh. I took off, and the car at the front, the bumper was smashed to bits. And they charged me at BMW, and this is going back fucking years ago. They charged me £150 or £130 an hour labour and £1,000 for the bumper. Yeah, it came to like fucking, I think it took them 3 hours to fit a bumper, apparently. I was like nearly 1,500 quid. So, and that was just for a little bit of plastic bumper. That's without what he's got. That's going to be fucking expensive, man.
Yeah.
I think that's going to go a bit more than that.
No, I ain't got a ticket, mate. Couldn't get. I don't know anybody.
What's that going on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's going, so I couldn't get anything.
What about? I thought you'd go Liverpool.
I'm going to Liverpool. Yeah.
Well, you're going to Liverpool. You're putting yourself through that, Jez, yeah?
Yeah, going up the night before, staying up there.
How you getting up there though?
Going by car. My car.
Oh, your car.
Okay. Hey, Jez, if you need a ticket for the game of the weekend, I might be able to sort one out. I'll speak to someone.
All right, yeah.
If you want to, it's up to you, mate. But yeah, I'll see. It's what, Sunday, isn't it, the game?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, no worries, man. All right, listen, big up to everyone watching live. I won't be back again today. I've literally sat here for 3 hours straight, nearly 4 hours straight with Rance's stream as well, plus this. And I've already done a press conference reaction. Go and check that video out. Make sure you follow KennyKen1972 on Twitter and Insta. He's not been suspended. And yeah, I'll tat her out. Laters.